What's your emergency?
Welcome back to That Weewoo Show, a podcast where we watch and discuss episodes of the ABC show 911. I'm Beth.
I'm Alice.
And I'm Ellen.
And as we say every week, thank you so much to everybody who has listened to our past episodes. And special thanks to those of you who have taken the time out of what we are sure are very busy days to comment on our social media posts, share our social media posts, comment on our episodes, or trek all the way over to our website, thatweewooshow.com, and leave comments there. We do love hearing from you, especially when you agree with everything that we say. It does make it seem like we're not just talking to ourselves, which, as we've said before, we're quite happy to keep doing, but we also like that other people are listening to us too. Before we start talking about this week's episode, Alice, could you please remind us what happened the last time we met up and talked about this show?
It was a big one last time. The week before last on 911, the 118 were introduced to Lucy Donato while stopping a car rigged to explode if it dropped its speed, just like the movie Speed. Eddie started his new job at the dispatch centre, and Buck asked Taylor to move in with him after kissing Lucy at the bar, right before Lucy was given a job with the 118 to replace Eddie. Also, apparently it was Harry Grant's last episode, but none of that matters because this week we're in Boston.
We are in Boston. Do you want to just quickly mention Harry? Like, do we know anything about why
he wanted to move on?
His name? His name starts with an M.
Mark Anthony Rice. I'm guessing he wanted to be free to do other projects. He didn't want to be locked into basically being on call, which is fair enough. So,
but they didn't write him out or anything. They just
it was really interesting.
Put him in anymore.
Yeah, like Michael got this whole farewell thing, and Harry just never showed up again.
Well, we do get mention. We know what happens to Harry. But I don't know whether the decision of Mark Anthony to leave was sort of season 5-ish, or whether they just, because they didn't have David and Harry around, that just sort of the character of Harry suffered from storylines, so they just didn't bother asking. But then sort of future-wise, when they approached the actor to be like, hey, we would like to actually bring back the character of Harry, he's gone, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, we did not realise until literally as we were recording this episode, I was checking the summary of last week's, and it was just like, oh yeah, this is Harry Grant's last episode. And I'm like, sorry, what? I don't even remember Harry being in the episode, so good. Excellent.
Oh, this one that we're about to talk about is the last one. Or was it last week?
No, last time. Yeah.
Oh, last week. Okay.
Last week's.
Yeah. I was like, no one was in this one except for Chip and Maddie.
No, we had the contractually obligated appearances from Angela Bassett and Peter Krause, and a cameo from Albert.
And Buck, yes.
And
Buck.
Albert existed
I'm
again.
sorry, there were a few people in momentarily.
Buck and Hen I don't count because they were just reusing footage from previous episodes. So they didn't actually have to film anything this week. But yeah, what is Albert's character's name again? John?
What? No, that's his actor's name.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what so his
what is Albert's character's name? Albert?
Sorry, Albert's actor's name, John. So, like, John and Peter and Angela had to be on set, but Oliver and Aisha didn't.
Right, yeah. Right, so this episode, let's get started. This is episode 12 of season 5, which is named Boston.
I wonder where it takes place.
Funnily enough, it is set in Boston. It aired in March 28, 2022, so almost 4 years ago to the day, which is actually around St. Patrick's Day as well. So this is kind of timely for this episode, I guess. Chimney is determined to find, this is how the blurb goes, Chimney is determined to find a missing Maddie amongst the chaos of St. Patrick's Day in Boston. That's it. Triggers for this episode include an So this is kind of a heavy episode that we've got some big triggers here. We've got an alcoholic character who relapses, people who are drunk because of St. Patrick's Day in Boston, so alcohol use, depression, discussions of drunk driving, flashbacks to a child at threat, group therapy, hospital intake for mental health reasons. We have vision of needles and blood being drawn. We have postpartum depression, a suicide attempt via drowning, and suicidal ideation, and vomit. Quite a doozy.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, so obviously we're going back to like the time when Maddie left. So we have a flashback to start with.
Yes. So for the last 7, 8 episodes, we've kind of been seeing what Chim has been doing. But at the beginning of this episode, we're going to go back and we're going to actually see what has happened to Maddie over the last 6 months, starting with the episode 502, 503, when things really sort of hit her badly. It's kind of it's the montage of Maddie's worst hits. It's like everything that's ever gone wrong for Maddie. She's just reliving it in this montage.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many times I said, "Oh, Maddie," as I was watching this. It's quite heartbreaking. Like, not only does it have, the actual incident where she, lost G in the bath for a bit, but also as she's recording the message for Chim to tell him that she's leaving, and then like her basically going to Boston and looking at the ocean, and then this
the ocean is LA. That was in LA. That was before she went to Boston.
I thought that after she did this ocean part, she immediately checked herself in.
No, she says later on that I think she was telling Chim later on in the episode that she dropped G off, she went to the coast, she sat on the beach, and then she drove halfway across the country to Boston for recovery.
Right.
I think because she was familiar with the hospital. So yeah, everything bad continues to happen in LA, but she gets better in Boston.
Yes.
So, really just piling on the negative connotations with LA for Maddie. Love that for her.
Poor Maddie.
But yeah, so after she drops G, she goes and sits at the beach and then walks out into the water. And as she's out in the water, as the water goes over her head, we get flashes of past episodes and of pretty much, like I said, Maddie's worst hits. She remembers the time when Buck crashed his bike when they were a kid and her parents immediately blamed her. We get when Doug attacked Chim and kidnapped Maddie and then blamed Maddie for everything that happened. We get Buck being incredibly honest with her and telling her that she's always the one who leaves. And I think at that point she probably would be not happy, but she would be wanting to stay under the water. But then she remembers the conversation that she had with Chim when she wanted to have a home birth. And Chim tells her that if anything were to happen to her or to G, he couldn't handle that. That would be the thing that breaks him. And that's what convinces Maddie to swim back up to the surface and to not die that day.
Oh, poor Maddie.
It's fucking heavy, this episode.
And then we get 3 days later, she's in Boston checking herself into a hospital.
She looks extremely broken.
I feel like she just, she didn't want to go home, but she didn't know where else to go. So, she just drove to somewhere that she knew. And she knew Boston. And so that's just sort of where she ended up. That's how I feel like she ended up in Boston. Yeah.
And I think that Chim tells us that too. Because I think Hen asks at some point, why is she gone to Boston? And he says that that's sort of the place that she had the happiest memories, because Doug was working a lot, so she didn't actually have to spend that much time with him.
Yeah.
But yes, Maddie looks incredibly rough in this scene where she's doing an intake exam with a doctor at the hospital and just laying everything out. Suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts in her past, a history of depression, possible family history of depression.
Yeah, so she mentions about how she was in the abusive marriage and she had thoughts then. Her depression's been on and off and started when she was a kid, and when she says 9 or 10, the doctor's like, oh, that's very young. And she explains about Daniel, like, my brother died, he was very sick. And then, yeah, she goes into detail about how her mum talked a lot about wanting to die after losing Daniel, which is, like, as much as I hate Mrs. Buckley, like, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real sad. But she's, admits that she tried to drown herself in the ocean.
At which point I think she gets a one-way ticket straight to the Grippy Sock ward for tests and observations and just to make sure that she's okay.
Yeah.
And she's not going to try and harm herself any further. And
honestly, this is probably the
unfortunately,
most unrealistic part of a very unrealistic show, is that she's just like, oh yeah, I have depression, I tried to drown myself, and they're like, cool, let's get you an ECG and a CT scan and blood tests.
Yeah.
Just in case you
Sure,
hit your head while you were...
I'm pretty sure they'd just throw meds at her and release her, but,
I'm assuming that it's to rule out any physiological reasons, which, does...
Yeah, it pays off.
Play a part later in the episode.
Case, apparently.
It pays off, but yes, I don't necessarily think that doctors would go to quite that length in reality. Alice, I think you're right. Anyway, we don't watch this show for realism. Do we, Tim, Mania? We don't watch this show for realism.
Look, I keep seeing, watching Channel 7 news in the evening, and I keep seeing ads for like season 9, which is just about to start on Channel 7, wherever they play it, and it's the going to space and one.
Oh
and
my
I'm like,
gosh.
oh, it's so realistic sometimes. Anyway,
got
that to look forward to in a long time from now.
So back in season 5, we get basically hospital therapy, meds, meals, montage for Maddie, which unfortunately
she does seem to be improving a little bit over the course of this montage.
She does, but I can't concentrate because I'm having flashbacks to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Because for some reason the music supervisor has decided to use Sarah McLachlan's Full of Grace as the music that plays over this montage, and I'm on a bus with Buffy leaving Sunnydale at this point. I'm not actually focusing on what Maddie is doing.
But she's getting her meds and her, they're bringing the meals and everything, and she's chatting with the nurses, so she's feeling a little better. Especially once the blood tests reveal that she has a serious thyroid issue. And that was what triggered her postpartum depression. Or the symptoms.
So it's fine, just have some meds, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of just feels like they're giving her the magic pill to get over her depression, which is a bit sad. Like, for realism's sake.
I want to be delicate with this, because the fact that the thyroid triggered the suicidal ideation and the depression and everything, it doesn't negate those feelings and it doesn't negate Maddie's experience, but it does very much feel like a magic pill. It feels very much like the show is like, here is your trauma, here is the drama surrounding said trauma, but we're actually done with your trauma now, so we need you to get better instantly so we can move on and traumatize you in another way in the future episode. And I don't. I wish. I know that it's not as cut and dried. Like, no, not to spoil, but they do. It's not that black and white. It's like, it's not Maddie feels better and suddenly everyone's happy and it's all happy families and everything's better. It does. They do try to make Maddie's story a little tiny bit realistic and show that she's continuing to struggle, but yeah, this show doesn't like characters to have chronic pain or lingering trauma, like PTSD or lingering trauma. They just want you to have the trauma and then get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it does a little bit of a disservice in this instance.
Yeah, like I get that they obviously needed her to get better, but I wish there was, like, I just wish they'd explored the mental health side of it more than just, oh, it's postpartum thyroiditis. Congrats, you're cured.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they show the passage of time. Like, it takes her a while to, she's in there for a while and she's being looked after. So it's not too instant.
But yeah, we don't know how long she's on the meds before she starts responding. But at some point, they declare that she is cured and they move her from inpatient to outpatient at the mental health clinic, where she continues to receive therapy for, because the thyroid issue didn't cause the depression, it just like ramped it up to 10, so she still has the depression to deal with and the negative thoughts, and she still has to deal with the trauma of what she thinks almost killing her child. So there is still therapy that needs to be done. And this is where we find out that she specifically came to Boston because this hospital is where she trained. So she probably has happy memories there.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I listened much to this part. I was too busy being sad for Maddie. I'm just reading reading the transcript again going,
I was also too busy looking at Jennifer Love Hewitt and trying to figure out when they filmed this, because she still looked very pregnant in this scene. Like the way that they had like the robe and the giant dressing gown, and they shot her from certain angles. Did they shoot this before you went on leave? Like, were they stockpiling footage so that they could extend how long she went on leave? I don't know, but it was interesting. And yes, I know that bodies don't snap back immediately. You don't go from like super pregnant to super skinny. But I would just be curious to know the order. I know some people do, which is annoying. But it's not like that she would have, like, she's been on leave, which means she's had the kid, and then she's been at home. So there has been a passage of time before she's returned to set. This isn't like an immediately post-labor, post-delivery body.
She's in the hospital and they're like having the baby and they're like, oh, hey, while you're in here, can we just get some...
Can we just get you to walk
some
around?
Shots of you walking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say these lines. Well, she gets out of the hospital quick, smart, and she ends up in an apartment where she's inspecting it, and says she'll take it, and the landlord has some paperwork for her to fill out, but she's like, no, what if I just pay you 6 months rent up front?
In cash.
Yeah. So I don't know if the landlord will be willing to accept 6 months worth of cash in lieu of actually her name and details, but
I think it's more he asks if she's a part of the program over at the hospital, and he's probably assuming that means that she's running from something. And so
yeah, she wants to keep
she
it.
doesn't want her details in a system anywhere. So yeah. So it's like, okay, he's getting paid regardless of whether he's got paperwork or not. So
also, like, there's probably women like escaping from DV and recovering. Obviously, there are
exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
So,
he's going. She's running from something. There might be an abusive husband. There might be somebody out there looking for her, and she doesn't want to be found. So she doesn't want to have a bank account with a name on it or anything like that. So, yep, cash. And he's getting paid, so it's no risk to him. So then the next scene is we cut to the mental health clinic at that hospital where Maddie is attending group therapy.
Yeah, and she makes a friend there. We don't... How long before we actually get this lady's name?
Ages. Because I'm going, like probably halfway through the episode until we get a name.
Okay.
So the in the notes, for those of you who are listening who can't see my notes, I've just been calling the character JJ because the actress who plays the character that we later know as Kira plays JJ in Criminal Minds. And so I'm like, I can't remember what this character's name is. I know her as JJ, so I'm just going to keep calling her JJ until I find out her name. And then I was like halfway through the notes. I'm like, I cannot be fucked going back up to the beginning and replacing all the JJs with Kira. So she's JJ for half of the notes and then she swaps over to Kira.
Okay.
So this is she meets Kira, who is played by AJ Cook, and fun fact, this is a reunion for these two women because Jennifer Love Hewitt did a season on Criminal Minds when AJ was on the show. So, and then ironically, she only did one season because she got pregnant and then had to leave, or chose to leave, because she didn't want to do a second. She didn't want to go straight back from like have a shortened maternity leave so that she could shoot the season 11. So she went, no, I'm one and done. So
fair.
There you go. So they have a bit of a bond over having to leave, but Maddie tells her that her daughter's with her dad. She can't see her right now. And then I'm going to call her JJ as well now. JJ says, don't drink that coffee. There's better coffee down the street. So let's go get some. So they go get coffee together.
Yeah, because they're the only two in the group that don't have families. Everyone else, as soon as therapy finished, got up and rushed out to like pick up their kids, go back to their families, and these two are just bonded in the fact that they don't have their families and they don't have their kids right now.
There's a lot of short scenes in this episode, actually, because, I mean, we're going through what's been happening to Maddie, so we're just finding out little snippets of what she's been up to. So she, in her apartment, she's looking through her emails. I don't know if this must be the first time that she's looked at her emails, maybe, because she's bought a new MacBook. Because you can see the boxes on the table. So I'm assuming that when she left, she just like up and left her phone and her computer and everything behind. And she's now sort of getting the computer. I'm guessing she might need it to do homework for therapy or something. And yeah, so this is the first time that she's logged in. And the emails, we can actually see some of like the email subject lines and some of the email details, which are absolutely hilarious, including apparently Buck's email like name is Buck Buckley.
Obviously,
like,
what else would his name be?
I don't know. So like Chim's is Howard Hahn, like her dad's is Philip Buckley, and his is Buck Buckley.
Yeah.
And then we can see that Chim has been sending her emails with videos of Ji-yoon, including one that came in that night, with the subject, "Live from Zion National Park, you aren't going to believe this." And
I love that he emails like a clickbaiter.
Yeah. He probably
did it
like
on the other one. There's another one where the subject is Ji-yoon car seat karaoke. Just wait till she gets to the chorus. But yeah, so this is
It's so much like a clickbaiter, like a it's so funny.
I have a feeling that whoever was doing the effects of what Maddie sees on her screen was having a heap of fun with it. They fucked up a little bit, but I'm sure that they were having fun with it. Because it actually shows the dates of when the emails came in. And like we can see the most recent emails are sort of March 23, March 26th, but St. Patrick's Day is March 17th.
Oh.
So all of the emails have come in from the future.
So they knew that they were doing, like, they knew that it was airing on March 28th and were just like, oh yeah, that'll do, and didn't think about the fact that the episode's actually taking place on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, this should have been before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So someone said, like, we need like to show emails, we need to show them from March, and nobody's told the VFX team, actually, we need it prior to March 17th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
And this is well before St. Patrick's Day, because this is the video that triggers Maddie to call Buck at the end of Peer Pressure. Because this is the video.
It was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, it's like a long time ago.
A long time before.
Not a whole year previously.
So Chim has sent Maddie the video of G crawling, which she has like a roller coaster of emotions. She's crying because, the last time she saw G, she was barely able to sit up, and now she's crawling across the floor, and she's amazed that a little girl is so big and crawling, and then she's laughing because we don't see what happens, but G sort of obviously gets into something, and we hear Chim like, oh, no, don't touch that. But then she's sobbing because she's missed this moment. She's only getting to watch it through video, and then we see her, she's sort of watching it over and over again.
Aww.
And then she calls, like the next morning, she calls Buck. And we get to see her side of the phone conversation from Peer Pressure, where she calls and she's like, Buck hears the bells.
Oh yeah, the bells
in the back, in the background of her call.
Yeah, so it's the middle of the day. She's walking. Well, the sun's up. I don't know if it's the middle of the day, but
I looked at this and I went, okay, so when she called Buck to say, like, why is Chimney in Utah, she woke him up. But Boston to LA is only a 3-hour time difference. So it must be like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning for her, which makes it like 5 in the morning for Buck. And I did go back and watch the end of Peer Pressure, and they don't show the time on the phone when he picks it up, so I can't tell. But yeah, I think it's really early morning. It's early-ish morning for her, and then really early morning for him.
Let's be real, Buck sleeps weirdly anyway because he's a firefighter, so who knows?
But yeah, I'm assuming she got him on one of his like days off, so he was just sleeping. And Taylor had kept him up.
Yeah, he had Taylor there.
Watching videos and reading news stories about her dad on her computer all night. But so she calls Buck. The other thing was I was hoping that the church bells would keep ringing so I could count the chimes, but it doesn't. It just plays a little sort of pre-chiming melody.
The little tune, yeah.
Yeah, but the bells go off and it freaks her out. And the next thing we see is her in her apartment packing. Because I guess she realizes that Buck heard the bells, and she, at this point, does not underestimate her brother and realizes that he's going to pass on that information to Chim, and then Chim is going to come find her.
And she explains all this to Kira. Is that her name?
It will be her name. She's still JJ at the moment.
She's still JJ. Okay. She explains this to JJ as she's packing everything up, and she says, "I'm not ready to go home. I'm not ready to face it." And JJ asks her if she's afraid of her ex, and Maddie's like, "No. He would never hurt me, but he probably hates me." And at this point, she explains about what happened with G in the bath, and JJ reveals that she got a DUI with her son in the car, and therefore her ex now won't let her see her son. So, and she begs Maddie to stay.
Yeah, which is almost like, you think you fucked up this, like, I've got your story beat.
Story
but
topper.
But she does say that Maddie is the only one sort of in their group that really understands what she is going through, and begs her to stay. They can help each other get better, and then they can both go home, which neither of them look thrilled about the prospect of, but they do come to that agreement. So then, just to catch us up in the timeline, we get a little snippet from Ghost Stories, which is Hen and Chim on the phone talking about the fact that he is headed for Boston. And then we get, I completely forgot that Albert was in this episode. We get a cut to Albert, who is apparently looking after the Buckley apartment while Maddie and Chim are away. And at some point has grown a moustache.
Oh, God, it's such a filthy moustache.
Grown a moustache because Chim wasn't there to tell him it was a terrible idea, and he's also like,
why
trashed
didn't
the house.
Buck tell him it was a terrible idea?
Well, he probably doesn't see Buck very often at the moment because they're working in different places.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, he is hanging out with Chimney and all of the boxes of nappies, diapers that have been delivered.
Because they didn't cancel the subscription. They keep showing up.
Yeah, they didn't cancel the Amazon subscription, so they just keep getting sent.
Well, Chim
so
says,
funny.
well, that explains where they are. So I'm guessing that he thought that he was ordering them and then routing them to, like, whatever motel that he was staying in. But something has gone wrong in the, like, redirection process. So rather than arriving in sort of in Utah and all the different places that he's staying, they're just going straight to California.
Yeah.
And the main purpose of the conversation with Albert is because we find out that Chimney is staying with Eli in Boston after they ran into each other in the parking garage when Chim saved the baby.
Yeah, so he's staying in Eli's basement.
Yeah, we don't get to see any of Eli's family at all. Just him.
We never see the mysterious wife.
Yeah, apparently there's a wife and children
Molly
around somewhere, but he mentions her a few times.
The kids I'm not so fussed about because it sounds like they're grown, so they're probably not home. They're off living their own lives. But Molly, we should have seen Molly at some point.
That would have been
if only
nice,
because she would have been snatching Ji-Yoon off Chim at every opportunity so that she could have baby snuggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to mention as well, during this scene, is Heartbeats by Jose Gonzalez. And that's like To Build a Home. It's one of those songs that makes me cry every fucking time. And I'm like, it should just be illegal to play it in TV shows because I can't deal with it.
They were really hitting the heartstrings with the music. Let's think of every sad song that has ever been used in a television show. Let's put it in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know that we wrote it well enough to trigger the waterworks, so we're going to cheat.
We'll
we're
just
going to
throw
use the
Heartbeats
music.
in, yeah. And Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
works.
just going through the TV shows that have used Heartbeats because it's there's a million of them. But Scrubs, One Tree Hill.
Grey's must have used it at some point.
I'm sure Grey's Anatomy used it at some point. It was in something recently that I was watching too. Besides this, obviously I watched this.
Athena's contractually obligated appearance in this episode. So apparently Jim has called Athena to try and pull some strings about finding a missing person in Boston.
I think it was House, sorry, that I was watching semi-recently that it was in. Oh my god, it's also in Superstore! And I watched that around this, yeah, so it's fucking in everything, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
My train of thought has been derailed.
Yeah, and the only reason that he called Athena was because Angela is contractually obligated that she appears in every single episode.
But she tells him that there's not much she can do because they have no proof that she's actually there.
Yes. And while he's on the phone to Athena, Chim is printing out like homemade missing persons posters, which we then see him putting it up on a hospital notice board, which apparently he has been to several times before because the nurse knows him by name.
Oh my god, he's laying it so thick as well. He's clearly been here several times. So she greets him by name. Goes, I'd ask what brings you in here today, but I'm afraid you're about to tell me. And he goes, I'm just doing the rounds, making sure you haven't admitted a Maddie Buckley or a Maddie Kendall. And she's like, I can't, like, she goes to say, like, I can't tell you this, like, it's, and he just goes, I guess I'll hit the morgue next. And just, like, looks so wistful.
Which I don't know what it is about Chim that he inspires medical professionals to forget, like, their the HIPAA Act or the fact that
I just feel so sorry for his puppy dog eyes.
They should not be they should not be divulging information, because she leans over the counter to him and says, maybe you should check the women's clinic next door. They specialize in postpartum depression. Like, man,
I mean, that's not, like, she's not giving him anything away.
She's not,
She's just telling him where the women's clinic is.
Firstly, maybe he slipped her a calendar. So now that she's seen Mr. April, she's like, oh, I'm going to tell this guy. Secondly, I have a feeling, so like, he's obviously been here a lot, and I have a feeling the women's clinic isn't signposted. Like, it's
you mean the fact that it's got like a big sign across the door that's like women's mental health clinic, and it's and it's directly perpendicular from the front entrance, because he sits on the bench and he can see both the front entrance.
Oh, Jesus Christ! How has he not fucking noticed? Like, what the fuck? Okay, I don't know that. I was like, oh, like, maybe it's like
it's around the corner and it's hidden. No, it's fucking right there.
No, I was like, maybe it's just, like, not signposted, so it just looks like a random, like, surgery entrance or something, or, like, a doctor's entrance. But I did not realise it even had meant, oh my Jesus Christ.
But see, my issue
Chim's
is
not very observant. It's fine.
My issue is that, like, Doug could have got that information out of that nurse, because we knew that Doug could be charming when he wanted to be.
Excuse me, Doug was not in a firefighter's calendar.
But you know what I mean? Like, Doug could have gone up there and he could have spun that story, and he could have given the puppy dog eyes and then used that information for nefarious means. This nurse had no idea that she was dealing with Chim, not Doug.
Literally, and, like, she doesn't know that, like, it's not like Maddie's gone in and been like, my husband's the best, well, my partner's the best person in the world, he's the best dad in the world, I'm just going through some shit and don't want to talk to him. Like, he could be abusive. You don't, like, she...
Exactly, that's my issue with the fact that all of these women, medical professionals, are looking at Chim and divulging information.
Like, I love Chim's laying it on thick. I love him being like, I guess I'll check the morgue, just because I love Chimney. But, nurse should not have done that. It would have been better if he'd found it himself, or, like, some other way besides a medical professional telling him, like, giving him a big hint on where to find her.
Yeah. Because then he immediately goes to the women's clinic and starts rattling on the locked doors in the middle of the night. Not a good look. And then starts camping out on a bench in, like, outside the hospital.
Literally every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So, RIP to Gion's gross motor skills, because she's apparently just been strapped in a stroller and a car seat day in, day out for 6 months. I'm surprised that she's crawling, because she's just apparently never she doesn't have the opportunity to move. And so that's where Eli finds Chim on the bench with G and his stroller, just waiting for a sighting of Maddie.
He's like, this seems like the part of the movie where the detective becomes a little too obsessed with the case and his boss has to send him home. Chim's like, first off, you're not my boss.
Not anymore.
And then he, like, panics that he's overstaying his welcome, and Eli's like, no, I don't care if you stay there. Like, stop stalking your child's mother.
Stop stalking your baby mama.
Yeah.
So Eli sets the story for the rest of the episode in motion, because he tells Chim that perhaps the universe is not just going to let Chim see Maddie. Maybe he has to earn it. He has to pay like there was a cosmic tab that he has to pay it.
Yeah, I don't know how this makes sense, but sure. Let's just go with it.
The line of dialogue is that Chim should needs to be in service, needs to be of service to the universe. He needs to provide service to the universe, and then perhaps the universe will return the favor. Yeah. Which, like, spoiler alert, it does, because Chim goes out and volunteers and he eventually runs into Maddie. So, that's... Eli is correct, because that's the way they wanted the story to go. But yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you said that to someone in reality. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. But yes, with that, we are all caught up. We've caught up with Maddie's storyline. We've caught up with Chim's storyline. It is present day, and it is St. Patrick's Day in Boston. And we know it's St. Patrick's Day because the Dropkick Murphys start playing. Not that song, though. A different. I
not that song. The other Dropkick Murphys song.
I think they used all of their music budget on the Sarah McLachlan and the Jose Gonzalez, so they're just like, okay, we just need a Dropkick Murphys song. Like, just get us the cheapest one you can get. So we are at I'm guessing it's a church breakfast. It's like one of those breakfasts that they put on before the parade, so that people can get some food in their stomach before they start imbibing alcohol all day. And it looks like the pipers are meeting there before the parade, because there's a chalkboard in the background with the rules for the parade, which includes no hitting each other with your bagpipes, no pinching strangers, because number 3, let's not repeat last year. And I am fascinated. I want to know what happened last year.
What happened last year? Oh, God.
Apparently someone got in trouble for pinching someone.
And they're also not allowed to sing anti-Queen songs, which I was really confused about for a second. I'm like, what did they have against Freddie Mercury? But I'm guessing they meant Queen Elizabeth and like the British royal family at this point.
I guess so. I mean, I think the Queen was still alive in 2022.
Yes, she was still alive in 2022. She only died recently. I'm guessing it would just be like, don't sing songs that are anti the royal family, because Ireland and England have a very contentious history. Yes. So yeah, sounds like bagpipers have a lot of fun on St. Patrick's Day.
It does, except for one of the pipers who isn't feeling so good. He's having trouble breathing, and it's like, oh no, on this show, Murray. That's a bad move. That's a bad idea. And his friend tells him, like, just shut up and get on with it, kind of thing. It's, come on, we're still going to do the parade. Just get over it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they're playing Scotland the Brave. Yeah, like, I'm looking at this going,
oh my god.
I thought, like, bagpipes were like, this is going to sound really stupid, but is bagpipes like just a Celtic thing in general, or is it I've only ever seen it associated with Scotland?
No, so I went on the same journey because I saw the bagpipers and I went, wait.
Okay, good, because I'm literally Googling bagpipes in Ireland right now, so...
So yes, there are Irish bagpipes. Bagpipes are just like a Celtic thing, which makes sense because everybody needs to get their sheep back. The pipers are wearing a traditional Irish tartan, the pattern on their kilts. But yeah, so there's a fight. The context of the reason that we're talking about this right now is that a fight breaks out, and the clergyman who's sort of running the breakfast asks the pipers to, start playing because, music soothes the savage beasts. So they start playing, and I'm like, I wonder what song that is, because I don't know bagpipe songs. And so I Google, like, popular bagpipe songs, thinking that, I'll have to scroll through a couple to listen to a few, try and figure it out. And it's fucking Scotland the Brave.
It's literally the one bagpipe song. Yeah.
It's the quintessential bagpipe song.
Yeah, they
and
just
it is
pick
the,
something
the
that
most...
everyone knows, but they don't know the name of it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
But
I'm pretty sure it's because none of them were actually playing the bagpipes, so they played like the first bagpipe song that they could find. But it's Scotland on St. Patrick's Day. Like, guys.
It is the most patriotic Scottish song there is. And they're playing it on a day celebrating Irish history and culture.
Yeah.
I just... Like, you go to enough trouble to make sure that the pipers are wearing Irish tartan, but you don't think maybe we should get them to play something, I don't know, anything other than a song that is frickin' called Scotland the Brave?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
that's not the important part of the scene. It's important to us because it's frickin' hilarious. But the important part is that while all of the other pipers start piping, Murray collapses, which necessitates a call to Boston's 911 dispatch, which have green wavy lines because, you know, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Because it's St. Patrick's Day. Oh my god, I laughed so hard. Because, like, when I first watched this, I hadn't seen Lone Star, and so, like, I was like, oh yeah, it's green because it's St. Patrick's Day, and then I watched Lone Star, which is a different colour, and then Nashville is also a different colour now, so I'm like, is Boston's colour just green? Like,
I think so.
Probably.
I think so. I think they've just decided that, like, Boston is the Irish capital of the US, so it's going to be green.
Apparently, yeah.
So
I don't know enough about Boston or, like, America in general, but I thought, I thought it'd be Philadelphia just because I've only seen Sunny. Where's Sunny?
What, they have a lot of Irish people there?
They own an Irish bar.
Ah. Okay.
It's, like, I'm pretty sure it's called, like, St. Paddy's Pub. And so I just assumed that Philadelphia was, like, the Irish capital. I have no idea. Don't know anything about America.
Every city has an Irish pub. Like, we have an Irish
Oh,
pub.
yeah, we even have Irish pubs, yeah. Don't know. Didn't really think about it. They even go to Ireland in Always Sunny, I'm pretty sure. Is it Ireland or Scotland? No, I'm pretty sure it's Ireland. Anyway.
Anyway, so
Boston's apparently green.
Boston 911 call, and despite the fact that they call 911, the Boston Medical Volunteer Corps show up, of which Chimney is now a member. And I had to look these guys up. I think it's like the equivalent of our St. John's ambulance, which...
Yeah, it's
those
like
of you...
volunteer medics that, like, if they're close enough, they'll go help.
Yeah, so for those of you not in Australia, we have a volunteer service which was founded by the St. John's Church, I guess. They do first aid training, they do medical supplies, and if you are having a community event or a concert or a sporting event, you can request the volunteer first aid officers attend and provide first aid services so you don't have to rely on actual paramedics. They can treat minor injuries, minor illnesses, and then they can triage and then escalate as necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's to, like, you know, if someone falls over and breaks their ankle, they don't need an ambulance to, like, lights and sirens when there's more important things happening in big events. I was going to say something. Don't remember. Oh, yeah. So 911, like, yes, he calls 911. 911 would route to, because Chimney says that because, like, they're across the road, so 911 would route to them. It's like how when there's a car crash, 911 will route to the SES here. Yeah. Even though they're not part of the 911 thing and they don't, like, you don't call going, oh yeah, like, is it ambulance, fire, or police? Like, you don't go SES. They'll just route them where needed.
Although Eli arrives as well, so I'm wondering if the volunteers have, like, a radio set up where they can intercept 911 calls.
I would assume that they were closer, so they're like, in case it's a heart attack, like, go do CPR while the actual paramedics get there.
Yeah.
We have similar with ambulances here. Like, they'll send, there's a faster vehicle that they can send, so if that's closer, they'll send that to start doing CPR and stuff, and then when the actual ambulance get there, they'll take over, load them in so that they can take them. But ambulances are slower, so.
So Chimney doesn't have a car. Chimney is on foot. So he is slightly confused as he and the other volunteer Randall enter the church as to why there is a keg at a breakfast.
At a prayer breakfast.
Yeah. And Randall's just like, it's St. Patrick's Day. I think we would also need to bring Chimney over to Australia for like Anzac Day. Gunfire breakfast.
Yeah.
This would absolutely shock him.
I mean, I think our St. Patrick's Day is pretty big too. Like it, maybe not in the morning, but definitely the nights are.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anzac Day, yeah.
So he and Randall attend to Murray, and Chim is thinking the worst. He's listing off all of the symptoms. And then Eli appears in the background and says that Murray has something called bagpipe lung. Because Murray has never cleaned his bagpipes and the bag is full of mold spores, which he has been breathing in for God knows how long.
Ew.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Ew.
Yeah.
I love that Eli like starts cutting into the bagpipes and they're all just like, oh my god, you're gonna ruin his bagpipes. It's like, dude, he's dying. Like
he's just going to release the mold spores out for everyone else to breathe in. That's fine, Eli.
It's okay. This isn't The Last of Us. It's not that serious. I also really like that, like, Chim's trying to diagnose and he's just like, oh, like, it could be this, it could be right side heart failure. And then he listens to his lungs. He's like, it could be lung damage. Is he a smoker? No. Maybe pulmonary fibrosis. But what would cause him to go down now? And Randall, who's the other volunteer, is like, are you asking me? Because our volunteer training didn't go into that depth. You're like smart. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, the volunteers are like trained to put band-aids
give out
on
band-aids pretty much.
Yeah. And ice rolled ankles. And you know, put pressure on wounds maybe, but not not diagnose.
No. So thank God Randall's got Chimney today and Eli for backup.
Yeah,
so they manage.
I love how when Eli says like it's bagpipe lung and Chim goes, that can't be a real thing. It does
like,
sound like a real thing.
Oh god.
Apparently it is. So they get Murray up, they get him on a stretcher, they get him out to, I guess, the ambulance so they can take him to hospital. And Chim is fascinated by bagpipe lung. He's like, bagpipe lung, that's the first time I've seen that. And Eli's like, you're about to have a lot of firsts. And then we cut to Chim is so fascinated by the concept of bagpipe lung that he's called Bobby. Like,
yeah,
have you ever heard of this thing called bagpipe lung?
He's like, Bobby, you're Irish, right?
But yeah, so this is Peter Krause's contractually obligated appearance in the episode.
Yep.
Because it does absolutely nothing to further the storyline. It's just
as he says though, it's like he does mention it's he's doing the Boston Medical Volunteer Corps. It's mostly handing out band-aids and bottles of water. So yeah, they do mention that, but yeah, Bobby's just like,
but
wow.
It was on the back of his vest as he walked in. There was like, it was middle of the screen for a good couple of seconds.
Yeah, but just in case you don't know what the Boston Medical Volunteer Corps do.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like Chim mentions that his saving account balance is getting pretty low. Bobby's like, you still have a full-time job waiting for you here.
He's like, yeah, why are you volunteering to be a paramedic when you have an actual fucking paramedic job? Yeah,
like you're right here. And yeah, Chim goes, I'm not coming home without Maddie. So that's Peter Krause's contractually obligated scene. And now we're back to Maddie.
We are back to Maddie, and the clinic is running therapy sessions on St. Patrick's Day. In which
obviously
Kira
I mean, it's not like it's a public holiday, so
no, I know.
Yeah, it's a general day.
Kira has availed herself of the kegs at the pier at the prayer breakfast though, because while Maddie is giving a speech at therapy where she's basically saying, I think I'm done, I think I'm ready to go home, Kira is drunk as a skunk. And this is where she's finally Kira. We actually get a name. Like,
yeah.
Because Maddie says, I couldn't have done everything. I couldn't have gotten to this point without Kira. And Kira's just like, ooh, I get a special shout out. Lucky me. And it's like, girl. She's got a coffee cup in her hand, which is empty because, see previous discussions about coffee cup acting. But if there were something in it, going, what is actually, that's not just coffee, or it's a very, very Irish coffee. It's probably green Irish coffee, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Just like gingerbread lattes, it's green this time.
Yeah, and she's like giving Maddie sort of the slow clap, like, oh my god, I'm so glad you're fixed. Let's give everyone a round of applause. And...
to start with, I didn't sort of clock that she was drunk, and I was like, what is this woman's problem? Like, is she like just, jealous? But I mean, it turns out she kind of is jealous, but she's also extremely drunk.
Incredibly drunk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, as the scene goes on, that becomes more clear. But at first I was like, what the fuck?
I think maybe I clocked it earlier because watching the episode back, you see the difference in her speech patterns and the way she's behaving is prepared as opposed to earlier in the episode.
Yep.
And also having watched AJ in other things, it's like, okay, yeah, this is drunk. This is drunk AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they get to the end of the therapist is like, okay, nothing else productive is going to happen. Let's let everybody out there. Maddie is fuming. And she confronts Kira and says that she, just wants to check on her because she doesn't seem like herself. And Kira's like, maybe it's the depression. And Maddie snatches the empty coffee cup and sniffs it and says, oh, maybe it's the whiskey. So I'm guessing that she gave Kira the heads up that this was her last therapy session, that she was going to go home. And it's tipped Kira over the edge.
Yeah, except that it's a real bad day for it because she's supposed to be visiting her son this afternoon. And now she's really drunk. So, but it's okay. Maddie is going to help her.
How?
She says she's going to get her a banana bag. What is a banana
bag? It's IV fluids. It's basically a bag full of IV fluids with like vitamins, electrolytes, minerals. It's called a banana bag because I guess they put like B something in it and it turns a bright yellow. But the point of that is that it is IV bag, which means it's intravenous, which means that she's dragged this woman over to the hospital and she's going to go to the nurses and go, hey, we can't admit her, but do you mind if I just pop around into a trauma bay and just, stick a needle in her arm for a little bit?
Yeah, it's fine.
I figured she was just going to, look like she knew what she was doing and just steal it.
But she'd have to, administer it somehow. Banana bags, I remember them from, I think they've used them in Grey's Anatomy, but I remember them from ER. So the doctors would be, really hungover, and then they'd hook themselves up to a banana bag so that they could sober up and work.
Oh, my God.
After they've had a bender. Yeah.
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 Seem to remember George Clooney being hooked up to one at one point.
Oh, speaking of, one of my friends just started watching ER, and I'm so tempted. But also, baby Dr. Robbie.
Yes, I know.
Is an actual infant. I don't know why they gave a 12-year-old a lab coat. I didn't think that it was Doogie Howser, but
he's a student at that point, right? He's a med student.
He's a child.
He's the equivalent of Whittaker. So it's it's full circle.
Oh, it's so funny though. I was is that him? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, he is a actual child.
Because the point of The Pit was it was meant to be a spin-off of ER. It was meant to be Dr. Carter all grown up and being a med student in the ER, and now he's running his own ER. But Michael Crichton refused to give them the rights to ER, so they changed it to Pittsburgh, and it's now Dr. Robbie, not Dr. Carter.
Yeah.
I think the Crichton estate is still suing them for it though.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so that's why it's Noah Wiley, and that's why it's.
I knew that it was I knew that he was on ER, and I knew it was tied a lot to ER, but yeah, I haven't watched ER for Like, I've seen bits, but not since, like, the fucking
Yeah.
90s or
Yeah,
whatever. So
no,
I was, like,
same.
6 years old watching it with mum.
So Maddie heads off to get her very, very illegal banana bag. But before she can get too far, Kira stops her because the hospital that Maddie has dragged her to and the specific waiting room that she's dumped Kira in is the same one that Chimney put up the missing poster of Maddie. And so Kira is staring at a poster of Maddie on the bulletin board, which is news to Maddie, and she is shocked to see her face on the bulletin board. And she takes the poster down, and she's looking at it, and she's like, oh my god, he's still looking for me. But not in a scared, oh my god, I'm like running for my life. It's like oh, he's still looking for me. He still cares about me. Which sent Kira off the deep end even more, because she assumed that when Maddie said, I can't see my kid, it was because Chim was keeping G from Maddie, not that Maddie was in a self-imposed exile.
Yeah, Kira's like, I thought you said he hated you. You lied. And Maddie's like, that's not what I said. Like, no. I didn't lie.
What she said was true from a certain point of view.
Yes.
And so that Kira's like had enough. So first of all, Maddie's leaving her, and then she's realized that the woman that she thought Maddie was never who Maddie was in the end at all. And she goes running out of the hospital, and just as Maddie chases after her, every single extra that they ever hired on 911 floods into the waiting area, blocking Maddie's exit. So by the time she gets outside, Kira is long gone. It's ridiculous, though, because Kira takes off through the doors and there's nobody around. Maddie takes one step and whoom.
Yeah, suddenly
everyone's there.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. So then that sets up Maddie searching the parade for Kira, the same parade that Chim and Eli are working in.
I really like the way they set this up, actually, like with both of them kind of coming from opposite directions.
And the little moments when you realise that they cross paths. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
They're getting closer, the universe is pushing them closer and closer together until they finally collide. So Chim's just dealing with all of the crazies, including a man dressed as St. Patrick who is suffering from a snake bite on the back of his hand.
Oh, yeah, this was weird. I'm like, where the hell's the snake bite come from? But apparently he was cosplaying.
The only reason I know
St.
it's
Patrick.
a thing is... Yeah, the only reason I know it's a thing is because of The Simpsons.
Oh. The Simpsons teaching us things for 30 years.
It's how I know most American facts.
I will give them kudos though, the fact that they have this snake bite, and then they have Randall going like, oh, do we do this and we do that? And Chimney's like, those are the worst things you could ever possibly do for a snake bite.
Yeah, like, should we tourniquet? No.
Yeah, should we cut it open and suck out the poison? It's like, what?
Yeah. So first of all, it's not poison, it's venom. Second of all, absolutely not.
Yeah, I know. That's gross.
So yeah, no. Immobilize the hand, elevated above his heart. I don't know if you're even supposed to elevate.
No, you're just supposed to not move, right? Like you're just supposed to not move. Yeah.
Not move. And
until you get help.
He's taken a Sharpie and he's drawn a circle around the wound so that if like the irritation from the venom spreads any further, they'll be able to see the rate at which it's spreading.
Yeah, so snake venom actually goes through your lymphatic system, so it doesn't go through your bloodstream. So it doesn't matter, like, if your heart is beating, like, if you're panicking and your heart's beating really fast, it's not as bad as if you're like, oh shit, and waving your arms around, because your lymphatic system works by you moving, so you want to stay still. And yeah, so you stay as still as possible. So someone can like put you on a backboard and move you while you're staying completely still. That's good. Wrapping a bandage not too tight, but not too tight. So you don't want to cut off the circulation like a tourniquet, but wrapping it top and bottom to try and keep it in one place as well. And then yeah, anti-venom is important.
I'm also really curious as to what kind of snake it was.
Yeah.
Like
Probably
we never
something
find
not
out. There's
super-
no snake in the scene because they haven't spent the money to get a snake handler in.
Yeah. I mean, it's America. I'm sure they don't have venomous snakes. It's fine. It's funny because they absolutely do.
They do.
Yeah,
maybe not in
do.
Boston.
Well, Chim says anti-venom is the best bet, so it's something venomous.
Oh, yeah, snakes. Yeah. I mean, except for pythons, but does America have pythons?
Yes.
They have pet pythons, probably. Anyway, Maddie, we cut back to Maddie. She's asking people, she asked someone at a pub about if they've seen her, like Kira. And then the bouncer is like, oh, a drunk woman, that narrows it down.
Yeah, a blonde drunk woman.
A blonde drunk woman on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to keep a lookout for that. Chim has moved on from a man dressed up as St. Patrick trying to rid the streets of snakes to a man dressed as a leprechaun.
Oh my god. He's like, she stole me pot of gold. Like, you know you're not actually a leprechaun, right?
Yeah, so Chim's not actually treating the leprechaun. Eli is treating the leprechaun. Chim is treating the victim of the leprechaun because apparently he whacked her on the nose with a stick, which is not actually a stick, it's a shillelagh.
And a rubber one.
But the leprechaun gets dragged away after Eli patches him up and shoved into the back of a police cruiser. Which is important because later on we're going to see Maddie wandering up and down the street going past a leprechaun being shoved into a police cruiser as she and Chimney's circles get closer and closer.
So you're like, oh, they're nearly there. When's it going to happen?
It was so nice, I have to say. So nice to see Chim, like, working again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, he's so good at his job and he's so good with the patients, and I was like, yay! It's Chimney. I missed him.
Yeah.
Before he gets back to work, he's going to take a lunch break because Randall is going to go and get them some lobster rolls, which both he and Eli laugh at Chim when he says, yeah, you can get me a lobster roll, but no mayo. And
yeah, Randall's like, I sense you have no idea what a lobster roll is.
I have no idea what a lobster roll is, so I had to look
you had to look it up.
It's a bread roll with lobster pieces mixed in mayo as like some kind of like lobster salad on the bread roll. There's no way that he could give it without mayo. He has to have mayo.
Like it's literally lobster mixed with mayo. I have had a lobster roll. It was okay. Like, it was very underwhelming. I was very disappointed. I did not know until recently what a tuna melt was. And they just...
I don't understand the appeal of the tuna melt. It just sounds gross.
It does sound gross.
They're just haunting me. 3 different occasions last week, there were references to tuna melts. And I was like, I don't fucking know what a tuna melt is. So obviously there's the heated rivalry one with the tuna melt.
I was at a cafe last week and looking for something to have for lunch, and they had tuna melt on the menu.
What's the fuck another one? There you go.
I was like, should I have one just to be extra fangirl about this? And then I was like, no, it's tuna on a sandwich. No, that's gross.
It's
yeah. So yeah, there was the heated rivalry tuna meltdown. I was then watching Schitt's Creek, which I started watching again ages ago. Was watching Schitt's Creek, and someone got 2 tuna melts to go, and I was like, is this a Canadian thing? Like, I literally messaged my Canadian friends and I'm like, is this some weird Canadian thing?
Not.
And they're like, I've never had a tuna melt. It's just a thing.
It just sounds cool.
Then on The Pit this week, they fucking mentioned tuna melts. And everyone's like, oh, it's just a diner thing. And I'm like, no, I get they could have chosen anything. They could have said, like,
other
eggs or bacon, like anything. But no, they fucking said tuna melt. And then I messaged my ex about it and about how fucking weird it was that tuna melts were coming everywhere. And she's like, is this a fucking joke? And sent me a screenshot from the book that she was reading where someone referred to something as a tuna melt. And she's like, and I'm like, what the fuck is a tuna melt? Apparently Subway make them. as well.
Oh.
And I'm like, no fucking idea.
Gross. It's basically, it's like bread with tuna on top, and then it's like grilled cheese. So it's like
tuna.
grilled cheese with tuna.
But the tuna salad, it's also got mayo in it as well. Like I think
it's got so I think it's tuna salad. So it's got like mayo and celery, maybe.
Yeah, it's like tuna salad type thing that you put on
tuna
the
salad under melted cheese, which just sounds gross.
It does sound gross.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like the tuna salad bit sounds fine. Like the cheese bit on its own sounds fine, but putting them all of them together, no. Quick tangent, Alice, have you seen the Schitt's Creek heated rivalry mashups that are going around on TikTok at the moment?
Oh my god, I don't think so. No. There are mashups?
It's like someone has taken the press conference that Shane and Elia do, and then they spliced it with Alexis doing a little bit of Alexis.
Oh my god.
I need to see this. I need it.
I will send them and drop them. Or like there is the tuna melt scene where like Elia promises Shane that he's going to make him a tuna melt. So you've got Shane watching David freaking out about how do you fold in the cheese.
How do you fold in the cheese?
Yes. I'll send them through, but
I need them.
Schitt's Creek reminded me that.
Oh my fucking god, I need them. I started watching it, and then like obviously fucking Catherine, I can't remember her surname,
O'Hara,
passed, and so I stopped watching it for a bit. And O'Hara, thank you. Speaking of Irish things, and then so I stopped watching it for a bit, and now I've started watching it again. But
it's great. I love it.
But yeah, tuna melts. I think I'm actually going to have to go get some low carb bread next weekend while I'm house sitting and make a tuna melt just so that I can say that I've had one.
I mean, it's
as I sit here in my Boston
horrible,
Raiders
but
t-shirt.
There's a lot of things that I would order before I order a tuna melt.
Yeah, like I said, the tuna on its own, fine, but the combination of the tuna and the melted cheese, I don't know.
Yeah, like
anyway, Anyway, so lobster rolls. Lobster rolls cannot be...
They head to the food truck. It's lunchtime.
They're making fun of Chim. But before they can, like, eat their lobster rolls, this man sort of stumbles in the street in front of them, and you think, okay, cool, just drunk. He's, like, fork found in kitchen. Except he falls down at their feet and discover that he has a frickin' axe in the back of his skull.
Yep, yeah, as you do,
Yes, which is the moment where Maddie walks past and she can see the crowd gathering and she can see the leprechaun. So if she'd been a nosy person and just gone, oh, what is all that crowd doing over there? Maybe I'll go have a look. She would have found Chim earlier, but she doesn't.
Yeah, but she's busy.
She keeps going. So our poor... axe in the head dude, he has no pulse and he's not breathing. And Eli says that normally he'd say that they need to start compressions, but that would, involve them putting him on his back, which they can't do because there's a fucking axe in his head. And as we've learned from this show, if there is a penetrating object, you leave said object in said wound until it can be removed by a surgeon.
Yeah.
They're not going to yank the axe out on the street. So Chimney has the brilliant idea of stealing the sandwich board from the lobster roll truck and using it as a back brace. So they sit the dude with the axe in his head up, they put the backboard behind him. Eli holds him in place and braces him so Chim can do compressions with him sitting up.
Yeah, this is incredible if it would work like in real life. I don't know if you can do compressions hard enough while someone's actually sitting up to get it to work. But
you've got to get the blood to the brain, and I just don't know if it's...
Yeah, and
if the force is going to be enough.
Well, it doesn't matter, because Chim's compressions are fucking terrible.
The whole thing is terrible. But anyway, regardless.
Because I'm sitting there, Chim starts doing the compressions, and I start singing Pink Pony Club, and goddamn, I had to slow that down. Like, Pink Pony Club, and then he starts speeding up, and it's like, oh god, now we're going too fast. God damn it, Chim.
No.
I like that you're doing Pink Pony Club, and I've been doing Golden.
Yeah.
It was just the first song that popped into my head when I'm thinking, okay, what song am I going to start singing for compressions? I think my favorite part of this is Randall is still helping, and Eli is like, we need you to hold this guy's head steady. And Randall's like, can I do that without looking at him?
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at his head.
And as they're doing the compressions, Eli is like having the best time because he's like, hey, Chim, this is like old times, right? And Chim's like, yeah, nobody's vomited on me yet. And Randall, but next to them's like, oh my God. And he's like gagging.
He's like gagging. Yeah.
And then Chim's like, that is not an invitation, Randall.
Poor Randall. He was like, I'm just gonna do some band-aids, and then he gets partnered with the fucking paramedic. He's like, I have so many regrets right now.
It's either gonna inspire him to actually go to medical school, or he's never gonna volunteer with the volunteer corps again.
Yeah. I love that the axe thrower, who's a friend of the guy who's got the axe in his head, is like, oh my God, what can I do? And Chim just goes to take up chess.
Yeah, so apparently the backstory of how this guy got in this situation was the two of them were practicing their axe throwing, and the dude that ended up with the axe in the back of his head walked in front of the other guy. So he kind of had it coming.
Yeah, they're not smart.
So while Chim is having fun playing paramedic, Maddie gets a phone call from Kira. Well, from Kira's phone. Because it's not actually Kira, because Kira's down at the Father Sean's pub, and she's not doing well.
No, so the bartender has grabbed her phone and just called the first person who Kira had spoken to or something. Like, how did...
I'm guessing there was
probably a missed call and they just hit the button.
Yeah, so all through Maddie wandering through looking for Kira, she's been on the phone trying to call Kira. So I'm guessing that the bartender has picked up the phone, seen like 60 gajillion missed calls from Maddie, and gone, yeah. I bet this girl's looking for this one, so I'm going to call her. That's probably the best bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a correct bet.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So Maddie heads over to Father Sean's pub. Meanwhile, we're going to cut back to Chim, who has ended up in the same hospital and the same waiting room where he put up the poster of Maddie, and he realizes that the poster is not there anymore, which makes, and I started questioning at this point, like, what exactly is this? Is this like the ER waiting room? Is this like where in the hospital is this room? And it made me start questioning things, and I had to stop because I was driving myself crazy.
Don't pull the thread.
Don't pull the thread.
I liked the way they did this though, because they don't mention, like, he doesn't say to anybody that the poster's missing. He's just standing there staring at the empty space where the poster was.
Yes.
It was effective.
And we realise that he has accompanied Eli to the hospital with the Axemans, with their Axeman friend, and Chim realises that his shift with the volunteer corps is over, and Eli offers to give him a ride back in the ambulance so that he doesn't have to, like, hoof it. And even promises to let him use the lights and sirens. So then we cut back to Father Sean's pub, where, yes, Kira is not doing well. She is incredibly drunk. As Maddie and I'm guessing the bartender haul her out into the street, she starts aspirating vomit. And if anybody is, like, triggered by vomit, please, like, look away or stop listening at this point, because it's gross.
Yeah, she blows some chunks, and she's like basically unconscious. Like, Maddie says she's did a sternal rub, but she's not coming to, so she's out cold.
Yeah. So Maddie's trying to wake Kira up, and she gets the bartender to call 911. We don't get to see the wavy green lines, but the bartender relays from 911 that there's a unit just down the block. And wouldn't you know, Eli pulls up. And once again, it's like as soon as they mention that there's an ambulance, we immediately hear the sirens, and like 2 seconds later, Eli is there. So this dude just spawns in where he's needed. He's got the fastest response time in Boston. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because this is not the first time that somebody's had to call an ambulance and then Eli is immediately there. It's brilliant.
He was already dropping Chim off, so
no, I
he was
know,
already
but
in the
it's
area.
how
It's fine.
close, like, it was just remarkably fast that he
He's
was
just
there.
very good at his job, okay?
Yeah.
So he gets out, he attends to Kira, he takes the handover from Maddie, and in the background we can see Chimney's decided to make himself useful. So he gets out of the ambulance, he goes around the back to get the extra equipment.
And everyone's sitting up a little straighter. They're all leaning forward. They're like, oh my God, it's going to happen.
And, like, it's so stupid. It's telegraphed so badly, though, because there's a crowd of people sort of gathered around Maddie and Eli and Kira, except for the gap that they need so that we can see Chim in the ambulance. Like, there's a giant gap in the crowd so the camera can, like, see Chim and so that Chim can get through.
It's fine. It's just the hole that Eli just made. They haven't filled it yet. It's fine. It's fine.
So Chim makes his way through the crowd with the extra equipment that Eli needs, and he sees Maddie. And he freezes in shock. He's like, Maddie? And Eli looks up and like, what the hell? What did you just
Eli
say?
like looks at Chim, looks at Maddie, looks at Chim, looks at Maddie. Maddie's like, Howie? And then everyone's just like, yep, cool, we're working. Like, Eli's like, yep, cool, we have acute alcohol intoxication, heart rate severely low. Chim's like, copy that. They just like start to suction, start getting on a gurney, and then Chim just looks over to Maddie and goes, are you okay? And Maddie's like, yeah, is G with you? And Chim's like, yeah, she's fine, she's staying with a friend. All right, suction's ready, let's go.
Yep.
Like, it's
there is
so
drama.
good.
There is drama, but we are professionals, so we're going to handle the emergency first, and then we're going to handle the fallout later.
It's no like, oh shit, like it's no freezing. It's we have a job to do. We're doing this job, and we will deal with this later.
Yeah.
Like we're not dealing with this right now. Just making sure you're okay, because obviously you are dealing with a drunk woman right now. Are you okay? Yes, good, cool, done. Let's go. Yeah, far. It was like, yes, they finally reunited.
The circle's finally condensed, and the universe has brought them together, as Eli said that it would.
Because they've been in the same area for how many emergencies, and finally.
I just kept thinking as I was watching this, I've been playing Fortnite a lot, and in Fortnite, like the playing space just shrinks.
Yes,
to force
everybody
into the same space. So it's like the universe has just taken the playing area of Boston has just kept shrinking the edges of it to force these two until they meet.
Until they deal with their shit.
They don't immediately, because when we come back from commercial, Chim has gone to pick up G. Or gone somewhere, and Maddie has accompanied...
Gone to scream into a pillow.
Maddie has accompanied Eli and Kira back to the same hospital that they pretty much just left. And I couldn't help but laugh, but when they're pushing her in, she has a banana bag hung off the gurney.
She finally got a banana bag, guys. It's okay.
She got a banana bag.
Oh, she's finally admitted.
And again, Eli waits until they pass Kira off to the hospital before turning to Maddie and introducing himself. He's like, hey, by the way, I'm Eli. She's like, oh, yeah, Chim's talked about you. She's like, yeah, he's talked about you too.
Yeah, like Eli says, you and that little girl are about all he talks about these days. So then, Maddie asks where he is, and Eli's like, yeah, he's probably outside. I think he needed a minute.
You think?
Maddie asks Eli how he is, because she's like, I could ask Chim myself, but, and Eli goes, yeah, he'd probably sugarcoat it for you. And explains, like when he showed up, he was a mess, he was worried, he was racked with guilt, because he feels responsible.
I don't always like when 911, reuse characters and keep bringing characters back. My exception is Eli.
I love Eli so much.
Yeah,
I wish
great
Eli
character.
visited more.
Eli
I
is
wish
a
he just
great
came in
character.
one season, imparted wisdom, changed changed Chimney's life, and then just left again. I love Chimney I love Eli so much. Obviously, I love Chimney too. I love Eli so much.
Yeah, Eli would be the one character if he kept popping up, like some kind of Boston Wizard of Wisdom. I'd be very happy to see him.
I so thought you were going to say Boston Raider then.
Oh, the brain rot. No, he doesn't have to just change Chim's life. He could pop up and change, he could say something to Buck that could change his life or something. He doesn't have to be just...
Buck and Eli.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine.
There's a concept.
That would be chaotic, but amazing.
This is how Buddy happens. It's Eli just turning up.
Yeah, he'll turn up and go,
the two of them
look,
together.
Can you guys just kiss and get it over with? Seriously.
Yeah.
Eli is the Ilya of 911. He just appears in all the seasons, mashes two queers together and leaves.
Yeah.
Ironically, not queer himself, but...
Not queer himself, though, yeah. Well, we don't know. We don't know his alphabet.
That's true.
True.
That is very true. But yeah, I would love to see Eli and Buck and Eli and Eddie and just how he would react to those guys. It would be...
He'd be like, hey, maybe you should volunteer for a paramedic position and then everything will just work itself out. And they'll be like, by George, I think you've got it.
Yes, so Chim is indeed outside. He is sitting on the stalker bench where he has been for the last couple of months. And this scene is amazing because there were so many ways that they could have played this scene. And I love it. I love that Chimney is pissed at Maddie. He's so angry at her.
Yeah.
When they finally get a chance to talk to her after so many months of not knowing where she is, there was probably relief, there was probably happiness, and now we circled right back to anger.
Yep. Because she left. She didn't she left them. He deserves to be pissed. She may have had her reasons that she thought were good, but he is allowed to be pissed. I just got it. We have to give a special shout out to how this scene starts, though, where Maddie says, Eli said you'd be here. He was right. And Chim just goes, yeah, he usually is. It's one of his more annoying traits.
But he wasn't completely right because he said that he was crazy for sitting there all the time waiting for Maddie to come through the doors. But she actually did this time, so... He was right. Chim was the one who was right.
But no, he wasn't right because Eli said that he needed to go and be of service and then the universe would provide. So he was right.
Exactly. Worked right into Maddie's competent.
If Chimney had stayed sitting on that bench, it would never have happened. He would never have found Maddie. He had to go out. So
we know that Maddie has a competency kink. We need to...
Anyway, she does... admit that she tried to kill herself, and then Chim sort of he's still angry, but he, I don't know, gets more emotional about it and softens a little bit.
Yeah, because at this point he was still operating on she ran away because of what happened with G, and then she gives him that extra bit of information. She's like, yes, I know what happened to G was an accident, but me trying to kill myself was not an accident. And we get a quick recap for Chim of the opening montage of the episode, including I tried to drown, I tried to kill myself, but I didn't because she went into the ocean for herself, but she came out of the ocean for Chim and for G.
Yeah.
And she has been in Boston for the last 6 months because she had to learn how to stop running, which has been her default response to anything in her life is just to run. But she needs
to be fair, her parents definitely instilled that on her. Their child died and they just moved. They were we'll just pretend this didn't happen.
Yeah, but it's a pattern of behaviour for Maddie. So things went bad in the family, so she left. Things went bad with Doug, and she left as she rightly should. Buck was not wrong when he said that she was the one who always leaves.
Yeah.
But now through therapy, she's recognized that this is a pattern of behavior and a destructive one, and she needs to learn to stop doing that.
That's it. She needed to do some healing.
And then we get sad when they start apologizing to each other.
Yeah, Chim blames himself for Maddie leaving and for missing the warning signs or ignoring them. And Maddie's like, yeah, I also ignored them, so that's just like that. I don't blame you for it. Because I think like Chim's blamed himself a lot of this time too. Like he's like, oh well, if I'd been more supportive, she wouldn't have left.
Yes.
Whereas it wasn't about that. Like Chimney didn't help, but he also didn't know how to help. Like,
I think even Eli at some point tells him that Maddie wasn't going to accept his help. Like he couldn't have helped Maddie.
No. But yeah, they agree to be honest about how they feel and what they want. And Chim's like, yep, cool. What do you want? And then they're sneaking down the stairs of Eli's basement. I don't know why G's been asleep in the basement on her own for however long, but you know, she's awake.
Well, the what's her name? Maggie? No,
Molly.
I knew it was started with an M. God, I'm terrible with names today. Yeah, she's obviously been looking after her, but she's invisible, so we never see her.
My headcanon is that there's a baby monitor and Molly's got the receiver upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Molly's just upstairs, yeah.
If G woke, Molly would have come down to wake her. But
yeah.
G is awake in her pack and play, and then everybody starts crying because Maddie sort of sees G and realizes how big she is, because she's nearly a year old at this point.
Yeah, she's a totally different child. Like, she's doing stuff, she's, yeah.
And Maddie's realised exactly how much that she's missed. Although I did love that the little line from Chim when Maddie takes a look at G and she goes, she's so big, and Chim's like, I swear to God, I've been feeding her normally.
Yeah, I've been feeding her normal portions.
So Maddie's freaking out because she missed everything, so she starts crying and Chim is trying to comfort Maddie. And then G, who people have come into the room and she is awake and they are supposed to be picking her up out of her pack and play, and they are not picking her up and she wants uppies. So she starts crying as well.
Yeah, everyone's crying.
Everyone's crying.
But yeah, it's so heartbreaking when like Chim's like, oh, do you want to hold her? And Maddie's like, she never liked strangers. And Chim's like, you're not a stranger. And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the point where I started crying and basically didn't stop for the rest of the episode.
That's so valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do cut back to... Hang on, so Eli and Chim are at Eli's place still? Here in the basement?
Yeah, I'm guessing
they're in Chim's basement,
okay.
Yeah.
It's probably later that evening or the next day or something. G must be upstairs with Molly because these two are down in the man cave drinking beer.
Yeah.
Where Eli is like, so what happens next? Are you going to go back to LA or are you going to come work for me here in Boston?
Yeah. And Chim's basically like, I have no idea. I don't know yet.
Yep. No, because he spent the last couple of months like creating these scenarios in his head of what was going to happen when he found Maddie, and now it's actually happened, and it's nothing like he imagined.
Mm-hmm.
But he admits that he always pictured the reunion, but never thought beyond that.
Which is so heartbreaking.
Yeah. So Maddie has gone back to the hospital to see Kira. I don't know how Chimney let her out of his sight, but he did.
Well, what I find really, like, they're having the same conversation, but they're not having it with each other. Like, they're saying the same thing. Chimney is going, like, I realized watching her see G for the first time, I realized how much it cost her. And Maddie's like, oh my God, I've missed so much. What have I done? Like, the cost of my mental health is finally sort of kicking in. But she's telling that to Kira, not telling that to Chim. These two just need to sit down and talk to each other.
Yes.
I think both of them need to go to, like, the family session of the the group therapy that the therapist was talking about earlier.
Oh, please, more therapy.
Everybody needs therapy.
Yeah.
And we wrap up Kira's storyline because she, surprise, surprise, did not get to see her son. She has to go back to rehab, and then she has to do another 60 days outpatient therapy. But she is determined that she is going to do it for her son.
Yeah, so Maddie and Chim, like Maddie's come back to see G again. And Chim, I guess. No, hang on. Chim and G have come to visit Maddie at her apartment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Although, yes, they walk in and Maddie's like, oh my God, how's my girl? And completely ignores Chim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I think this is a bit later as well because, like, they seem a bit more familiar and comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is, like, the next day. I think they've seen each other a couple times.
Yes, this seems like an organised play date that they've set up. But G is pissed because in order to get to Maddie's apartment, they had to walk past a playground, and Chim would not stop to let her play in the playground. So she's absolutely throwing a fit. And Maddie's like, no, that's fine. We can go back to the park. And Chim's like, maybe we don't, because I don't want to seem like I'm caving to her tantrum. Like, oh.
She's like 1 year old. I think you're allowed to cave to tantrums. She doesn't know the difference at this age.
But he's trying so hard to be a good parent.
Yeah,
I think he also really just wanted to rush to Maddie, and if you put a, like, child on a playground, you're not going to get out of there very quickly.
Yes. But the point of the consequence of G being pissed that she didn't get to go to the park is that she wants absolutely nothing to do with Maddie. She wants absolutely nothing to do with anybody.
No.
So when they're trying to get G to say hi to Mommy, she's like, fuck Mommy, I want to go back to the park. But, you know, in like 1 year old, which is just like screaming and crying.
Which is
and
just...
So Maddie asks if she can try something, and Chim's like, yep, be my guest, but don't be insulted if it doesn't work. And so Maddie starts singing The Wheels on the Bus. And G, like, split second, immediately stops crying, starts laughing. And
I'm sure this is unrealistic, but it's cute, so I don't care.
It was
look,
cute.
I watched this scene and I had like a little bit of a, does this scene actually make sense considering the age and the timeline and everything, and then decided, you know what, I'm not going to pull that thread. I'm just going to enjoy the scene.
Yeah. Look, if my puppies who leave the nest when they're 2 months old can remember me at a year old after not seeing them the whole time, I believe that this baby in 6 months can remember her mother.
Yeah. So because she remembers Maddie's singing, she remembers the song, and she walks across the gap between Chimney and Maddie into Maddie's arms saying mama.
Yeah, apparently she can also talk now.
It's cute. I'm trying to remember. Like, babies usually walk around 1 year. I think mine were both maybe 13 months-ish.
My brother was early, I know that.
That was the other fun thing. So I'm watching this thing going, wait, is it realistic for this kid to be walking? And then I went back through my old photos and old videos to see at what age my kids were walking. And she's nearly, my eldest was sort of starting to toddle at about 10 months. But then again, his gross motor skills were incredibly early developed.
Yeah, I started talking early, but I started walking a bit later. Whereas my brother, like, I'm pretty sure Mum said he didn't even walk. He literally just, like, stood up and ran, and Mum's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So he was just like, go, 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 and very early, whereas he was a bit slower to talk.
Yeah, same with my eldest, like, walking super fast, didn't start talking until a lot later.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also a boy thing versus a girl thing. But yes, the moral of the story, this kid could conceivably be walking and saying "mama" at this age.
Yeah,
even though she
absolutely.
spent the last couple of months strapped into her car seat and strollers. And
She's
not
got
actually-
amazing motor
And
skills
in a
here.
porta cot.
a tiny little pack and play. Yes, she's thriving despite her circumstances.
Yeah.
So Chim and Maddie are both thrilled that G seems to remember Maddie. And Maddie is amazed, like, how does she remember me? And Chim is like, 6 months, 6 years, neither of us could ever forget you. Like,
Oh, it's so cute though.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. And then Maddie said, or he asked her, what do you want to do now? And she says, I want to go home.
I'm pretty sure he just meant, like, what do you want to do sort of right now in this
Now,
moment?
now
Do you want
what
to go
shall
to
we
the
do?
park? Do you want to
Yeah.
She's like, no, fuck it, I want to go back to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I don't know we can do that right now, but sure, we can do that. And then we end the episode with them both singing The Wheels on the Bus to G, who is loving it.
Yeah. And we also then get a PSA from Jennifer Love Hewitt talking about, like, if you're struggling, there's help. And she mentions the national hotline for America to call for mental health assistance and whatever. But most countries around the world also have other helplines. So if what we've talked about today has, affected you, go and Google your country's helplines. And there's someone, you're not alone, someone to help.
Yes, because I'm pretty sure that most people in this situation don't get the magic pill that instantly cures them.
No,
So
there's
they
generally
go
a bit
on.
more work involved in
Yes.
getting over that trauma.
Yes.
I mean, apart from all the trauma, I thought this was a really well put together episode. Like it really built up to their reunion very well.
It did.
I love
I really like this episode, except for the magic thyroid thing. That's the only part of it that I don't like.
Yeah.
It does. I do like that it explains, like, where Maddie has been, and I do love the parade part of it. And the way that you see them sort of circling around each other until they finally met. And I love that we get Eli again. I'm like you, I don't like the silver bullet to cure the postpartum depression, and I feel like it wraps up too quickly. They're like, no, you get one episode to get over everything, to get back together and get back to LA.
Yeah, I get why they have to, like, I get why they do it in one episode, but I'm still mad about it.
100%, like the Doyleist explanation of she gets one episode in Boston, then we need everyone back in LA so we can, resume a regularly
Normal
scheduled program.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do wish that maybe they had taken that little extra time to just allow for the storyline, to allow for Maddie to continue to process her trauma and handle her trauma.
We had so much bullshit with fucking Michael and David that I do not give a fuck about.
We had so much with Harry and Jeffrey. Like, he got, 3 or 4 episodes?
Jeffrey.
So much.
To get over Jeffrey, and Maddie gets 1 episode. And like I said, without spoiling it, it's not quite as cut and dry as that. It's not that she moves back to LA next episode and it's happy families. But yeah, why does Harry and Jeffrey get 50 goddamn episodes and Maddie gets 1?
Yeah. Like, I would have liked if they dragged it out a little bit longer, had them meeting, like, had them locking eyes over, and then they to be continued. And then it starts back with them treating the patient and, like, just more G stuff. But yeah. It's not that kind of show.
No, it's not that kind of show. You very rarely get more than 1 episode to deal with your trauma. You've got to get over it. We don't want to deal with anything chronic or lingering.
But, like, I haven't seen Maddie in so many episodes. I missed her.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's the other thing. Jennifer has been away for so long. It's a little bit disappointing that she gets 1 episode sort of devoted to her and Chim, and then it goes back to the ensemble stuff next week.
Yeah.
It was very nice to see them together again, though.
It was
Yeah.
lovely. This is, I know that the subject matter is, Maddie never gets good, and when I say good, I mean like happy storylines when she gets solo episodes. But at least this time it wasn't a Doug episode.
She looks so sad. Like, she can do sad looking so well that they're just like, oh, we're putting Maddie through the horrors again.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I just, like, read ahead in my notes for next week's episode, and there are so many crying faces that I'm like, oh no.
Oh no. Okay, tell me what's happening next week.
Next week, Athena investigates a robbery at a gas station, which takes an unexpected turn when the would-be victim turns the tables on her assailant, which is not really the important part of that storyline, but okay, sure.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Bobby and the 126 race to rescue a novice diver who panics while in a shark cage. Completely forgot about that storyline. And a house sitter terrified of spiders. We'll never forget that one.
No.
Then Dispatcher Eddie reaches his breaking point. Chim returns to the 118, and Maddie shares some news with Buck, who realise he has to come clean with Taylor. The title of next week's episode is Fearophobia.
Okay, so everyone's just afraid of everything?
Yeah, pretty much. It's all about
Who the fuck
fear.
are the 126?
The 126? Yeah.
Who the fuck are the 126?
Lucy's old unit.
Oh.
Oh, right, okay, cool. Like, did we go to Lone Star all of a sudden? I'm like, I don't think that's their number.
I'm pretty sure that's Lucy's unit, because they're the ones that help
They're in the last episode.
Speed scenario.
Yeah.
Although Lucy's now at the 118, so I don't understand why that's the 126. We will find out next week.
Apparently we will.
Triggers for next week's episode, in case anybody has never watched it and decides that they want to watch it along with Ellen for the first time this week.
Yeah.
Things to watch out for is bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose. Depictions of claustrophobia. Just in case this is a trigger for you, dolphins.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
Why dolphins?
I think I have a feeling they have some
literally claustrophobia, depression, dolphin, flashbacks.
I have a feeling the dolphins has something to do with the sharks, although the sharks aren't actually mentioned.
Sharks are not a trigger.
Sharks are not a trigger, but the fucking dolphins. Watch out, guys.
Flashbacks to moment of childhood threat. I'm going to assume that that's possibly G again. Flashbacks to war. Depictions of panic attack, PTSD, severe depictions of severe decompression sickness. These are the big ones. Spider webs. Depictions of therapy, threat of gun violence, threat of self-immolation, and threat of suicide via jumping. But the spiders is the big one, guys. If you don't like spiders, you are not going to like next week's episode.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
I can probably deal with watching spiders, but I can't deal with them being near me.
Well, thankfully, this is not like a VR episode, so you're not.
Yeah, I won't be able to feel them. So
in the episode, but you will have to deal with watching spiders.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else about this episode, or shall we just wrap up?
That was a good episode.
It was a good episode.
Sad. I don't like the magic pill, but yeah, it's the circling made me happy. It's really well done. It's like they just wanted to get to that and they just sort of rushed through everything else, but they did it well. Fucking Heartbeats breaks my heart every time.
Mm-hmm. Let us know what you thought about this episode, guys. You can leave us comments on the website thatweewooshow.com or on Spotify or on social media. We'd love to hear from you.
We're looking forward to Pigeon's next comment.
Yes. I promise we'll get responses to you at some point. Sorry. Thank you, everyone, for listening this week, and we will see you next time to talk about season 5, episode 13, Fearophobia. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
911 is a fictional show, but many of the situations portrayed happen in the real world too. If any of the topics we've discussed in this episode have affected you, please know you're not alone. You can call or text numbers in your country for help. Just Google crisis support in your location to find out the number. If you enjoy our podcast, you can help us out by leaving us a review on Spotify or your preferred listening app, and by sharing our social media posts. Find out more at thatweewooshow.com. And
I'm
now
sorry.
she's drunk.
What was that?
What?
So I just got that.
The message that I just, oh my god. That was a, oh my
What?
god. That was a
Okay,
thing
so
that came up on
sorry, no,
Facebook.
I'll explain. I've got Discord notifications on, and in the another chat, they're talking about the old fashioned medication, which was called Bex. And they're talking about taking that for a headache, and all I got was a notification from Alice saying Bex straight down the throat.
What?
But I did not know the context before I saw that notification. So I just... Excuse me?
I'm like, we knew it was Kira's day to see her son. Why? Why are you so shocked about this?
I'm like, what did
Sorry,
I say?
Sorry, that was just, yeah. I apologize for the interruption.
It's okay.
Apparently, I think it was Chris Hemsworth introduced a bunch of Americans to the "We're not here to fuck spiders"
Oh, I
saying.
saw that.
And they're all
I
very
saw that clip.
confused as to what the fuck we're doing down here. And it's like, well, we're not here to fuck spiders. Like, we just told you.
And
We're
then all
not
these
fucking
Australians, these Australians in the comments are like, "I've never said that in my life." It's like, well, just because you haven't doesn't mean.
Apparently, it's a
that we
very
don't say it.
Queenslander phase.
Well,
Which
I had never heard
makes
it until
sense.
fairly recently, and then I was like, "Oh, that's a pretty good phrase."
Oh, really? There you go.
Yeah,
I learnt it from a friend who's from Bundaberg, so
it sounds like a fairly Bundaberg thing to say.
right. But like JJ's have a T-shirt at the moment that says "We're not here to fuck spiders."
Wow. Okay.
Oh my god.
And I sent it to her, and she's like, "Oh my god, I kind of need it." And I'm like, "You 100% need it. It's your fucking saying."